damn audio is not good.
Very good. A not guilty plea is then entered on the defendant's behalf. My intention at this time, Mr. Sifranco, to adjourn the matter to this point toward the end of March. I'd like to give you some time to review the discovery materials that I imagine have been or will be supplied to you shortly, and then have a pretrial conference to discuss scheduling of motions and things of that nature. March 31st.
Okay, I have a better one.
30 a.m.
After the indictment. When the name is redacted from the indictment because that individual not yet in custody. I'm also hearing him over standard pretrial notices. Judge, I've included an IAD notice, even though there were no formal identification procedures here. The ID notice is self-explanatory. It has to do with people who testified in front of the grand jury that you videotaped, but this is all indicated that this person, such and such. I don't know that it will be the subject of the hearing, but I'll let Mr. Sefranco take care of that.
Understood.
I do acknowledge it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and with that, did either side want to be heard on the question of bail? Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Serious nature, $1,000 cash or $250,000 bond. Questions?
Oh, okay. Mr. Fitzpatrick, we're having some difficulty hearing you. I'm going to ask you if you'd use the podium that has a microphone available to you. We'll get that over. Mr. Sifranco, did you want to be heard on that topic? Bail bond claim as voluntarily surrendered himself in this area. Could be possible bail himself not have a
Their audio is horrible.
not that office, no legal jurisdiction, it's all intentions of being in court every time it's direct. You would ask him to say the bail as requested by the district. All right, the court has considered the statutory factors, and I do take particular note of the reality that if the defendant were convicted of the top count contained in this indictment, he faces a sentence of as much as 25 years to life in state prison. Accordingly, bail is set in the following amounts. That is $100,000 cash, $250,000 insurance company bail bond, or $1 million partially secured surety bond with a minimum 10% deposit. Do I understand correctly, Mr. Sifranco, you have a bondsman available? All right. Mr. Bernardo, if you have that paperwork complete, I will review the same.
These are the only two stations that are carrying
So
it.
would you do me a favor and pass that over to Mr. Sifranco as well?
I'm looking to see if CNN has it. Nope.
Yes, you may.
Nope. But we have the arraignment for the Pontiac mom too. Okay, so this is Robert Brooks' indictment.
All right.
The
Before me now
the black man that was in
is
prison that was
Bondsman J.
beaten by
Bernardo.
all the
Mr. Bernardo,
guards,
you swear the truth of the content
by
of the
nine, by at least five
undertaking
of the
affidavit.
guards,
Is
and
that correct?
17 of them
Thank you.
were put on administrative leave.
Mr. Anzalone,
One
confirm for me
quit,
you signed the
and
bail
now they're being
undertaking here as
arraigned
well?
because the charge came down as
And
murder.
Mr. Anzalone, I have before me now a proposed bail bond in the amount of $250,000, and I understand you're asking to be released upon this bond. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Do you understand what your number one obligation is under this bond?
Yes.
What is that?
Of course.
Exactly, return to court. Some things I want to make sure you understand. First, you do have a right to be present at all stages of the proceedings in your case, but if for some reason you did not come back to court as required, then a warrant would be issued for your arrest. The bail that you're posting by way of this bond, that would be forfeited and lost. You would then face a new felony charge, and that's known as bail jumping. Your case could then proceed in your absence. That means you could be tried in your absence and, if convicted, sentenced in your absence as well. You understand?
Yes.
He doesn't
Have
care.
received now a document entitled Parker Warning, outlining the warnings that I just gave you in writing. You signed this document here as well after reviewing it with your attorney. Is that right?
Yes.
Court is signing and approving the bail bond. Transport gentleman can have that. Mr. Anzalone, you're due back in this court March 31st at 9:30 a.m. for a pretrial conference with your attorney. I will see you back here then.
Here.
Anything further from either side? All set then. Thank you, counsel.
Bail should be denied.
$250,000 bail. That's it? Are you fucking kidding me?
David Walter.
Hi, Maureen. Snuggle. Hi. I'm sorry. I'm working and listening. And then we're going to do the arraignment for the mother in Michigan as well. She went into court for her arraignment.
Mr. Passalacqua, you're representing David Walters?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I do have a number of requests from the news media to cover today's proceedings by audio, visual coverage, as well as photography. Do you have any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Fitzpatrick, no objection. The court will permit the same. Yes.
They shouldn't get bail. I'm sorry. They took that man's life. They beat that man to death.
Understood, Your Honor. Absolutely.
Bail. Bail my ass.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Starzewski,
On
any
camera,
objection
yes.
to the media coverage here today?
But they thought their body cams were
Mr.
off.
Fitzpatrick, can I assume you have a continuing no objection? All right, very good. The court will permit the same.
Now, one of them appeared in court. Where are the other defendants? Are they refusing to appear? Are they ashamed of what they did? Are they ashamed of what their family had to witness? Or what Robert Brooks' family had to witness when they thought their body cams weren't on? And why is he smiling? Why the hell are you smiling?
Yeah, do you have Farina? We'll take Farina, please.
Is he outside? That's the one that had the foot in his chest and the one that was pulling him up by the throat. Well, by the neck. Bring your ass to court. This is crazy. They all should be in court. Oh, here comes one. That's him. His son said he didn't kill anyone. Really? We saw you.
This is the matter of the people against Anthony Farina, indictment 25035, on for arraignment today. I've received correspondence from a James Riotto that he's been retained in this matter. Are you?
Yes, Judge, I'm here of counsel.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Starzewski. All right, and that's your name, sir, Anthony Farina? How old are you, Mr. Farina?
49.
Mr. Farina, you are here today because the grand jury of Oneida County returned an indictment against you, so you have to be arraigned upon that. Mr. Fitzpatrick, you may arraign.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Farina, in indictment 25-35, you have been indicted by an Oneida County grand jury charged with various crimes, the top count of which is murder in the second degree. And counsel, I'd ask if you waive a formal reading of the indictment.
Waiver reading answer plea not guilty to all charges.
Not guilty plea is entered on the defendant's behalf.
This time, Judge, I'm going to hand counsel a copy of the indictment, again with the admonition that one name has been redacted because that individual is not in custody. I'm also providing our standard pretrial notices along with a disc concerning certain statements made by Mr. Farina, and ask if you acknowledge receipt.
Acknowledge receipt, Your Honor.
All right. What I'm going to do, Mr. Starzewski, is adjourn the matter to March 31st at 9:30 a.m. for a pretrial conference to give you some time to review the discovery materials. At that time, I can set up a motion schedule for you as well. Will that be you or Mr. Riotto at that time?
Probably Mr. Riotto.
Very good. All right. And with respect to the topic of bail, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
I would ask, Your Honor, bail consistent with what you said on Mr. Anselmo.
Mr. Starzewski, your thoughts?
Pardon.
All right, the court's considered the statutory factors and taking particular note of the fact that the defendant, if convicted of the top count, could face a sentence of as much as 25 years to life in state prison. Bail is set in the following amounts. That is $100,000 cash, $250,000 insurance company bail bond, or $1 million partially secured surety bond.
$1 billion.
Minimum 10% deposit. Officer, if you please pass this over. Mr. Starzewski, I'm going to have you provided with a Parker warning to review with your client.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Did he say 1 million? Wait a minute. Did he say 1 million? Oh, shit. Hold on a second, guys. Let me go back and hear this.
All right. And with respect to the topic of bail, Mr. Fitzpatrick?
I would ask, Your Honor, bail consistent with what you said on Mr. Anselmo.
Mr. Starzewski, your thoughts?
Pardon.
All right, the court's considered the statutory factors and taking particular note of the fact that the defendant, if convicted of the top count, could face a sentence of as much as 25 years to life in state prison. Bail is set in the following amounts. That is $100,000 cash, $250,000 insurance company bail bond, or $1 million partially secured surety bond with a minimum 10% deposit. Officer, if you please pass.
He did say 1 million.
Mr. Farina.
He's the
You do have
one
a
that
right to be
was
present at all
grabbing
stages
him
of
up
the
by his
proceedings in your
neck,
case, but if for
put
some
his
reason
foot in his
you
chest.
posted bail
The
and then
other
did
one,
not come back to court as
oh
required,
my God, 1
if you're
million
arrested,
surety
posted bail will
bond.
be forfeited and lost. You may then face a new felony charge known as bail jumping, and the case may proceed in your absence, meaning you could be tried in your absence, and if convicted, sentenced in your absence as well. You understand?
Damn.
I've received this document entitled Prior Warning, which outlines in writing the warnings that I just gave you. Confirm for me you sign this document after reviewing it here with your minute today. Thank you. All right, bail is set the amount so indicated. The defendant's to return to court on March 31st at 9:30 a.m. Is there anything further from either side?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd ask that defendant surrender his passport to counsel, and counsel advise me of when that has been surrendered. Suggest a week to do that.
We'll make that happen.
Very good. If you please notify the court when that's complete.
I will.
Oh my
Thank you.
God. 100,000 cash, 250
All set,
or
committed.
1 million surety. Damn. You've got C-19 now? How's your mom? I'm so sorry, sweetie. Oh, this is bad. I just saw Jen was live, and I'm sorry, but I said I was going to do this at 11 o'clock as soon as they went and did the unsealing of the indictment.
Matthew Gallagher.
Is he there? The other one didn't show up in court. He didn't want to.
Sorry to use circumstances.
Said,
Yep, I was
Mr. Lewerbrand, is
where
it?
you got it from. But you have to, I know you have
Mr. Lewerbrand, I have a number of media requests here for audio, video coverage, and still photography. Do you have any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court will permit the same.
Okay, he's there. There he comes. Guys, for everybody that's coming in, I showed the video of Robert Brooks that was being beaten to death by
The matter of the people against Matthew Gallagher.
jail personnel inside the infirmary.
I understand, Mr. Lewerbrand, you've been retained to represent Matthew Gallagher. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's your name, sir, Matthew Gallagher?
Yes.
How old are you, Mr. Gallagher?
43.
Mr. Gallagher, you're here today because the grand jury of Oneida County has returned an indictment against you. You must be arraigned upon that indictment. Counsel, you may arraign.
thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gallagher, an indictment 2025-5 in Oneida County grand jury has charged you with various crimes, the top count of which is murder in the second degree. And I'd ask counsel if you waive a further reading of the indictment.
Yes, we do, Your Honor. We entered
Hi,
plea
Island
of not
girl.
guilty and waive reading.
Hi, baby.
A not guilty plea is entered on the defendant's behalf.
Are you getting snow?
This time, Judge, I'm going to hand counsel a copy of the indictment with one name redacted, along with our standard pretrial notices, including a disc containing statements allegedly made by Mr. Gallagher, and ask you to acknowledge receipt of those.
Thank you, Your Honor. Give the documents and I acknowledge receipt.
All right, in that case, it's the court's intention to adjourn the matter to the morning of March 31st, 9:30 a.m. for a pretrial conference. I'll give you time between now and then to review the discovery materials and set a motion schedule at that next appearance.
Where's Susie?
With respect to bail, what's the position of the people?
Your Honor, we recommend bail consistent with what you said on Mr. Anzalone
This is
and
New
Mr.
York.
Arena.
Mr. Lewerbrand, your thoughts?
It snowed here.
We would
for
join in that
almost
request.
5 days almost.
Mr.
And
Gallagher
it's
is a
gonna
lifetime
rain
resident of
today.
the area. He has family local, 2 young children and a wife. He's
young children.
He's worked
Who
throughout
cares?
the area. He has no criminal record whatsoever, Your Honor.
All right, the court's considered the arguments of counsel and the statutory factors, and noting that the defendant could face a sentence of as 25 years to life in state prison if convicted after a trial of this matter. Bail is set in the following amounts: $100,000 cash, $250,000 insurance company bail bond, or $1 million partially secured surety bond with a minimum 10% deposit. Mr. Gallagher in a position
He's got a
to post that
$1
bond
million
today,
surety bond too.
He's prepared. Mr. Bernardo has agreed to provide the bond on behalf of Mr. Gallagher.
Of course. That's that union money.
I'll pass a Parker warning over. You can review that with your client while I look over the bond paperwork, please.
That's that union money.
Yep, that's what it is.
Niggas ain't got that kind of money, man.
It's that union money. They're right.
Catch and release.
Thank you. All right. Before me now is bondsman Jay Bernardo. Mr. Bernardo, you swear the truth, the content of your bail affidavit and undertaking? Mr. Gallagher signed the same.
How do you live with yourself? How do you tell your kids this? Your kids gotta watch this. You probably don't even let them watch it. Dad's a racist.
This is crazy.
That's what
They don't deserve bail.
he beats on helpless, innocent black men in prison. You swore to uphold and defend the Constitution.
All right, so Mr. Gallagher, I have before me now a proposed bail bond in the amount of $250,000. I understand you're asking to be released upon this. Is that right? Do you understand what your number one obligation is
Hi,
under this bond?
Christine. Yes, they have union lawyers.
You do have a right to be present at all stages of
They
proceedings.
were
in your
fired,
case.
and then
If
the
you do not
union
come back to court as
was
required, then
fired,
a
so they
warrant
were
will be
put on
issued for your arrest.
administrative
The
leave.
bail you're posting by way of this bond will be forfeited and lost, and you'll then face a new felony charge, and that's known as bail jumping. Your case may then proceed in your absence. That means you could be tried in your absence and if convicted, sentenced in your absence as well. Do you understand that?
I do.
Now, the warnings I just gave you were just provided to you in written form by way of this document entitled Parker Warning. I'm holding the same up for you. Confirm for me that you did sign this document here after you reviewed it with your attorney.
I do.
We're just signing and approving the bail bond. If you're released on the bond today, you're due back in this court on March 31st at 9:30 a.m.
How much are their union dues? Damn.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. So that's 4
All
of them.
set. Thank you.
Thank you.
They unsealed 2 indictments, right?
Oh, the governor will not remove Mayor Edward Edwards. What? I mean, Eric Adams immediately. Why not?
At least it ain't manslaughter.
Let's have Walters down there.
Okay, how many more? This is crazy. I like that little gray part, that little gray right there. Call these lawyers in here. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Down there, right?
Maybe this one is refusing to come in court too? Okay, so this is Robert Brooks. You remember the video I showed you of the black guy that was beaten to death by jail personnel, by the guards that were there, when he was in the infirmary? Well, this is the unsealed indictment from the grand jury of Oneida County, and now all of them are coming, have been arrested, and they're having the arraignment hearing for bail and the formal charges to be heard. I don't see his dad or his son. Is his dad in court? That's what I was looking for. And his son. But I can't see what's on that side. Because I was looking for Robert Brooks' son and his dad. Is that his son right there? No, his son is younger than that. That's his son right there. Right there. That's his son. Right there is his son. He's a young man, good looking young man. Can you imagine being in court and looking at these men face to face that beat your father to death? Now, the family has filed a wrongful debt suit against the prison and against those officers involved. But where's his dad at? That's the son. I want to see if the dad, I know the dad is there. I just can't see. If the son is there, the dad's there. I couldn't be sitting in court that calm, and they're parading these men in there that actually beat my father to death, and I had to watch a body cam video of what was done to my dad or my brother or whoever. I just couldn't be that calm. Maybe his dad chose not to be there, but his dad's a nice looking guy too, so I'm trying to see if I see him. Oh, they're having a conference. That's a good looking judge. I'm serious. That's a good looking judge. That's his son. Where's his dad? His sister's right there. Where's his dad? Is that his dad right there? Do you remember him when I played the interview? Is that the dad? But I know that's Robert's son right there. Because the dad has a little hair in his head. Okay. Okay, so we can, but I wanted to look at the woman that
Christopher Walrath.
left her 3 kids at the house. She just had her arraignment as well. And she faces life imprisonment. I'm Let's go, gal. I'm always on the prowl. No. I think that's the dad right there in the blue suit. That's the son. That's the dad in the blue suit. I couldn't sit there and watch that. I really couldn't and be that calm. Okay, here comes the other one. He was the one that had he's the one that had the foot in the groin. That's the one right there.
So to begin, Ms. Hartwell, I do have a number of requests from news media for audio and video coverage of the case proceedings as well as still photography. Do you have any
The
objections?
family suit.
Court will permit the same. Sir, your name is Christopher Walrath?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Walrath, you're charged under indictment
This is the one that put the foot
25035
in the groin and
the
kept
felony
hitting him.
offenses of murder in the second degree as well as manslaughter in the first degree. On these charges, you're entitled to the assistance of counsel at this and
So
all
he's
stages
got
of
second
proceedings.
degree
If you cannot afford
and
an attorney, one
manslaughter
will be
in the
provided
first
to you at no
degree.
cost to you. Ms.
He
Hartwell
had him
appears with
against
the
the
Public
wall
Defender's
as
Office.
well.
If you qualify for her services and you like, I
I'm
can
gonna show
assign her
you
to
that
represent
video
you.
again.
Is that your wish?
Yes.
Do you at least preliminarily qualify, Ms. Hartwell?
Yes, Your Honor, he does.
All right. Then at this time, Ms. Hartwell and her office will be assigned to represent you. I'll just note, Mr. Walrath, that is subject to your,
5 so far.
it being verified that you are financially eligible for assignment of the Public Defender's Office and that we do not have a conflict of counsel developed
Wait a
as the case
minute.
moves forward. I just want to make sure you understand
And he
that.
getting a public defender.
With that, you're here today to be arraigned on indictment 25035. And Mr. Fitzpatrick, you may arraign.
Mr. Waller, in indictment 25-35, you've been charged by an Oneida County grand jury with various
Oneida.
crimes. The top
I said
count of
Oneida.
which is murder in the second degree. Counsel asks if you waive a formal reading of the indictment.
I will. Yes, thank you.
This time, Your Honor, I'm going to hand counsel a copy of the indictment with one name redacted because that person is not yet in custody, along with our standard pretrial notices, and ask if you acknowledge
One of them
receipt
hasn't
that.
been arrested yet. Oh, shit.
Do I acknowledge receipt, Your Honor?
And enter a plea.
I don't know
Yes,
why
Your
they're
Honor,
looking
I
shocked.
have
We
not
got you on
guilty.
video.
A not guilty plea is entered on the defendant's behalf.
Not guilty.
I'm going to adjourn the case to March 31st at 9:30 a.m. for a
March
pretrial
31st. The other one
conference
was the 20th.
and to set a motion
Three on the
schedule.
31st. One
With
on
respect to the
24th.
topic of bail, what's the position of the people?
We would ask for bail to be set consistent with that of Mr. Anzalone, Mr. Farina, and Mr. Gallagher, Your Honor.
Ms. Hartwell, your thoughts?
Your Honor, with regard to that, I'm just only asking the court to consider the reasonable bail based on the information that the court has received, as well as the fact that my client is a lifelong resident here in the area of New York State, and I do not believe is a flight risk.
How are you?
Officer, would you mind passing this over to Ms. Hartwell, please? Court has considered the arguments of counsel and statutory factors, taking particular note of the reality that if the defendant were convicted of the top count contained in the indictment, he could face as much as 25 years to life in state prison. Bail is set in the following amounts. That is $100,000 cash, $250,000 insurance company bail bond, or $1 million partially secured surety bond with a minimum 10% deposit.
Ooh!
Now, Mr. Walrath, if you do make bail and you're released while these charges are pending, you do have a right to be present at all stages of proceedings in the case.
The t-shirt's
If you do
back.
not come back to court when required, then a warrant will be issued for your arrest. The bail posted would be forfeited and lost. You would then face a new felony
Oh,
charge. That's known as bail
Amber.
jumping.
Are you
The
going
case
to
may
cover
proceed in your
Letitia?
absence, meaning you can be tried in your absence and if convicted, sentenced in your absence as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
There's a document in writing to that effect of the
He's been
warrants I
gone
just
for
gave you.
3
Please take
years?
a moment to review the same with your attorney, and then you may sign.
Amber, this is the Robert Brooks death indictment. And I know you know that case where they beat him in an infirmary and the man died. And 2 of these same officers were involved in another beating of another guy who was
For the
white.
record, the defendant
And
has
they
executed the
filed
original of
multiple
the court's
complaints
written
and
Parker
nothing was
warning. The
done.
matter is adjourned now
So
to
I
March
really want to
31st
see
at 9:30 a.m.
what's
for
going
a
to
pretrial
happen
conference.
with
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
the previous complaints that were
That
filed.
would ask the court-ordered defendant to surrender his passport.
He has a
to
fiancé.
counsel, and that she advised the court and special prosecutor when that's done.
Does she know how
Right.
crazy she is? Oh my
Understood.
God.
Thank you.
So she's back on YouTube. I need to find it. I didn't even know you were sick, Amber. I'm glad I'm reading the comments. Yep, and then the mother, I'm going to do that arraignment too. Matter of fact, I think I just might switch to that one.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Miss Lisa. Why is Miss Lisa Zelda Z, Dreamsicle. Dreamsicle is sick too. Island Girl. If the shoe fits.
Family.
Thank you, Island Girl.
Friends.
You gifted yourself. Did you
Union.
gift yourself a membership? Yep, you gifted yourself a membership. It's under Love Notes with TLC.
I'd rather pay
Okay.
12 than the public defender. Pay for the attorney.
Love Notes, I'm
Yeah.
gonna write that down.
I'm not guaranteed he gonna survive.
Love Notes with TLC. Got it. Hi, Aries. Welcome. I love that smile. Your eyes are blue. Oh my God. All right. So I want I like these indictments, but I really want to go to this woman who killed her daughter. And that not killed her daughter, that abandoned her 3 kids. This indictment was crazy.
Out of the people against Michael Fisher under indictment 25035 on for arraignment today. That's your name, sir, Michael Fisher? How old are you, Mr. Fisher? 54.
54. You still doing it?
Now you remember
Mr.
this
Fisher, you're here today
officer,
because the grand jury of Oneida
he
County
was the
returned
one
an
that was
indictment against
hitting
you.
him.
You are charged with 1 count of the felony offense of manslaughter in the 2nd degree. On this charge, you're entitled to the assistance of counsel at this and all stages of proceedings. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to you at no cost to you. Ms. Hartwell here is with the Public Defender's Office. If you qualify and you like, I can assign her to represent you. Is that your wish?
Yes, please.
He qualifies.
He does, Your Honor, preliminary qualifies for public defender services.
All right.
So
So, Mr.
she's
Fisher,
gonna-
I'm assigning Ms. Hartwell today so you understand. Conditionally, that is that you're going to ultimately, after they give a further review of your finances, qualify for assignment of counsel, and then I'm going to have to look into whether or not a conflict exists and may need to assign you counsel. You understand?
The conflict doesn't.
You can stand in for arraignment today.
Yes.
Very good. Then we'll proceed with the arraignment. Mr. Fitzpatrick, you may arraign.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Fisher, indictment 2025-35, you have been charged by an Oneida County grand jury with a single crime of manslaughter in the 2nd degree.
Well, he only has
asks that you waive
manslaughter.
a formal reading of the indictment. Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to hand counsel a copy of
Aries,
the
why do I
redacted
know your
indictment,
name?
redacted only with 1 name being removed, along with our standard pretrial notices, along
I know your
with
name.
a
I've seen you
disc
before.
containing statements allegedly made by Mr. Fisher. And
Oh, you're
asking to acknowledge
back.
receipt of those
Okay. I know I've seen your name before. Okay. They all being arraigned. I need to switch because I don't have that much time.
No conspiracy charges, none of that. But what happened to the
Under
conspiracy
plea.
charges?
Yep, the conspiracy
The
charges are not
guilty plea is entered
there.
on the defendant's behalf.
Okay, the conspiracy charges, I don't know why they're not there. But let's look at this piece of shit that abandoned her kids, okay? I'll get back to them probably later, but I need to go. But I want to show you this.
Stunning new developments in the case of 3 Michigan children abandoned by their mother, police
know
say,
you. I
and left to
recognize
fend
you.
for themselves for years. Look at this. We now got mom's mugshot. This is 34-year-old Kelly Bryant. She is the accused, waking up behind bars this morning, accused of 3 counts of first-degree child abuse, looking at life in prison if she is convicted.
34.
Officers found the children, siblings ages 15,
Look how these children were
13,
living.
and
Look
12,
at that
an
bathroom.
older boy and 2 younger girls, when the landlord asked for a welfare check. Look at these pictures. So the landlord called attention to the police for the welfare check because Bryant stopped
Whose
paying her
links you want
rent
me to
in
drop, sweetie?
October.
I don't think I have any mod.
The defendant instructed the
No,
kids that they were
Winslow
not
is
to
here.
answer the door
Nothing is
or
here.
leave the house. All 3 children expressed fear about what their mother's response would be if they left the home. Defendant concealed the children from family and friends and lied about who was caring for the kids and their whereabouts.
It's believed that the children had been living like that for 4 years. Can you imagine not being allowed to leave the house? The mother allegedly put fear in them, fear. If they would have left that house, of what would have happened to them. So now we're wondering, what's mom's defense going to be? Let's talk about it. It's bring in our legal eagles. Still with me, attorneys John Phillips and Michael J. Brown. Want to welcome into the conversation private investigator, former law enforcement officer, and military serviceman Manuel Gomez. Manuel, let me start with.
I didn't play it, but
all right, back on the record,
if you have earbuds in,
matter. For the record,
he was arraigned.
I know you've had an opportunity to go into a private, confidential breakout room to confer with your client regarding the charges in this matter.
I don't get notifications. I just realized Jen was live when I looked. I didn't get a notification for Jen.
Another general information and complaint this morning.
Yes, Your Honor, waive reading, stand mute, ask the judge to not guilty plea on her behalf. I did advise her of the nature of the offenses, the maximum possible penalties, as well as gave her basic constitutional rights.
All right, this matter is hereby assigned to Honorable.
So there's the mother.
Cynthia Walker. She will be back before her on for a probable cause conference March 4th, 2025. For a probable cause conference.
She was arraigned, and she's facing like she has a $200 million bond.
Ms. Bryant, that exam date is a tentative date depending upon everyone's schedule, but by the court rule we have to set a date to keep it going. That will be at 9 o'clock. The PCC, the probable cause conference, is at 1:30. Of course, if you're unable to retain an attorney, and a court-appointed attorney will be provided for you to help you navigate and to communicate before Judge Walker.
So she didn't kill her kids. They killed a man on video, on body cam. They're getting 100, 250,000, 1 million surety with at least 10%. She abandoned her kids. They lived in squalor. Yes, her bail is $200 million. Explain that to me.
Next court date in this matter. Pretrial services relative to bond, but for the record, Ms. Kerrigan, are you in receipt of the pretrial services report bail recommendation in this matter?
So I'm going to drop this for you because this is really, really low.
Okay.
I am, yes.
So you can watch it, but I also want to play what her sister-in-law had to say. I almost ended my stream.
I think that's our problem.
Yeah, our problem is from the jail screen.
And I talked to her.
Okay, all right. So
her sister-in-law was interviewed. Here we go.
We all knew she was a bad parent, but I don't think nobody really realized this was going on.
Charlene Bryant. They all knew she was a bad parent. No one was there to check on those kids. One of her family members was dropping off food to her children, but all of you knew she was a bad parent, but no one went to that house to check on those kids.
Former sister-in-law to 34-year-old Kelly Bryant, now facing child abuse charges after investigating.
Wait a minute, let me go back and look at this shit. Look at all this damn glue with this fucking lace. Look at all this damn glue. She got glue all in here. 34 years old. 15, 14, and what? 12?
Now facing child abuse charges after investigators say they found 3 of her kids living alone in squalor for several years at this Pontiac townhouse on Lydia Lane.
Nice house.
Charlene has not been in contact in years and has loads of questions now.
I just don't know how the family don't know when they were so close.
Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald charged Kelly Bryant with 3 counts of child abuse in the first degree, which could mean life in prison if convicted. All of this after police say they found 3 of Bryant's 4 kids, a 15-year-old boy and his 2 sisters, ages 12 and 13, living in horrific conditions.
Her daughters were hiding in a bathroom that was filled with feces, piles of trash, and completely non-functional, while her son was hiding in another room. Police were astonished to find anyone in the location because it appeared to be uninhabitable, with piles of garbage and refuse several feet high, including large amounts of human excrement.
The prosecutor says Bryant lived at the home with all 4 kids back in 2019, but later moved out, leaving 3 of her children abandoned while one of the kids went to live with their dad.
Okay,
Detectives
so
said
she has 4 kids. She abandoned 3, 15, 12, and 13, and the 4th one went to live with their dad. Jesus Christ.
The landlord called police to the home, worried for Bryant's welfare after not getting a rent payment since last October. That's when the kids were found, shaken, scared, and covered in feces, according to the prosecutor.
Honestly, I thought the grandmother was taking care of the children.
That's the last you heard?
Yeah, that's the last. You went 4 or 5 years without seeing your grandchildren. There was no questions.
That's fucking crazy.
We stopped by the Pontiac home of Bryant's extended family, where the police eventually took the kids. We wanted to talk to the adults. Hi, how are you?
No, sir, no comment.
Is there anything you'd like to say, sir? No comment given there. We also searched Bryant's Facebook page, which was easy to find and not set to private.
Oh my God, look at her looking all good while her kids are living in squalor. Look at this. Look at that. You go, girl. You are the hottest mama.
Find and not set to private. Her content shows her modeling various outfits for the camera.
She's gonna claim she couldn't afford to take care of her kids, but you got your hair done, you got your nails done, you got new clothes on all your pictures. Come on now.
What do you think should happen at this point?
She needs to go to prison
Where's she
and never
going?
see her kids again. Them kids need to go to someone that's
And
gonna
not her
take care of them.
family.
Stunning new developments in the
Not
case
her
of 3
family.
Michigan
They don't
children
deserve
abandoned by their mother,
that
police
family.
say, and
They
left
didn't
to fend for
deserve this
themselves
kid.
for years. Look at this. We now got mom's mugshot. This is
They were not to answer the door or leave the house. All 3 children expressed fear about what their mother's response would be if they left the home. Defendant concealed the children from family and friends and lied about who was caring for the
She was
kids and their
partying.
whereabouts.
She was living someplace else.
It's believed that the children had been living like that for 4 years.
4
Can you
years.
imagine not being allowed
So-
to leave the house?
Hold on. So that'll be 11, 8, and 9. 4 years on their own. 4 years. She's threatening them not to leave the house. Don't open the door. Don't leave the house. Did they even have a phone? If the house would have caught on fire, did they even have a phone so they can call?
The mother allegedly put fear in them, fear, if they would have left that house, of what would have happened to them. So now we're wondering, what's mom's defense going to be? Let's talk about it. Let's bring in our legal eagles. Still with me, attorneys John Phillips and Michael J. Brown. Want to welcome into the conversation private investigator, former law enforcement officer, and military serviceman Manuel Gomez. Manuel, let me start with you. Your reaction to this case, and what do you think the defense for mom may be at trial?
Well, in this case, morally, there is plenty of responsibility to go around for how this happened. First of all, the system failed on so many levels. One of the levels that really disturbed me, in 2022, she went to court with her fourth baby's father, and she turned around and he was petitioning for visitation. She told in court that she cannot support herself, she can't support the kids, she's not capable. And at that point, they should have ordered a wellness check. Nothing was done. And besides that, okay, Board of Ed should have sent a truant officer.
Yeah.
These kids were in school during the duration they lived at this residence. And the fact of the matter is, the Board of Ed dropped the ball. Nobody sent anybody. Now, the mother could say they would transfer to another school. But the fact of the matter is, you would have to transfer the educational records.
You would have to pull the records from one school to the other school, and they can always track. Ooh, goodness. Okay.
Was ever transferred. There's so many levels here. And I can't see an insanity defense on this case because she was paying the utilities, paying the rent. She knew exactly what she was doing. This woman was capable and culpable.
Oh.
There's no doubt that she's going to be found guilty.
Boom, drop the mic right there. Capable and culpable. That ought to be the prosecutor's theme, Manuel. Thank you for that. Michael J. Brown, let me go to you next, please. What defense might this lady possibly have?
Obviously, the facts are very disturbing, Julie. The only thing that comes to mind is somebody like this with these set of facts. I certainly would want to get a psychiatrist, a psychologist involved. If there's any hint whatsoever of any type of mental disease, trauma, PTSD from maybe her upbringing or even her relationships, I don't know. But that's the initial thing that comes to my mind in terms of what I would want to explore. Really, that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Sure. No, but appreciate that because everybody's asking, well, what in the world are we going to see from this?
She was just dropping off food. She never went in the house to make sure those kids, the house was clean. That toilet alone is disgusting. The bathtub was full of feces as well. That's disgusting. But then you have 15, 12, and 13. They should, oh my God, you should know how to, nothing.
This woman, after we understand, based on what law enforcement has said, that this was an abandonment, but she still kept eyes on them, forcing them to stay there. That's really, I think, what's most stunning. It's just like, okay, so there was power and control exerted on these kids, according to police. John Phillips, I know you got a lot of thoughts. Please.
And that's the sign of culpability.
Ken, did you get what I sent to you? I was being funny after I watched your live that day, and they asked you, how long was your tongue?
Conscious decision to do this. One of the things said that she actually had Febreze delivered to the house with some garbage bags so that they could just, spray it to make it smell better. And that the little boy, like once or twice, wanted to go outside just to touch the grass. And as a father of a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old, if 4 hours go by, I miss them. If 4 days go by because I'm out of town in trial, I'm on the phone. I can't be away from them. 4 years, there's a place in hell for that. Excuse my language. This is
say it, John.
This is awful, and just the squalor and knowing that it's not going to end with the criminal justice system because these kids will be damaged for life.
Jen, I wanted to tell you something too. I don't know if you read my comment. You were spot on. I've been saying this for years, being a narcissist, you were spot on, and great job for standing up for your damn self. Just don't let this woman bring you down. Don't fall in that bullshit. Keep doing what you're doing. Ignore it. If I know it's hard, but just ignore it.
And kudos to the sheriff. I know they're raising money and clothes for these kids. If anybody out there has a clothing store, some teenage preteen clothes, get in touch with the Oakland Sheriff's Office. It's awful.
Yes, no, it really is. You hope people see this. I know hearts are breaking all around the country with this news. I mean, just topping the headlines everywhere you look. People are talking about. I've been getting so many calls and messages about this one. This is a bad case, and thank you for that, John. Let's turn now to another aspect of it, and that pertains to where the kids will live next. So at this very moment, they're in the care of relatives, and according to the sheriff, they didn't know what was even happening. Take a look.
Family is asking, apparently, some of the folks that are now involved with the kids that didn't know, that's another question we've asked, they didn't know what was going on with the kids. They had been told by her that somebody else was babysitting the children or
get the fuck out of here.
Other kinds of things. So they were unaware what was happening.
Haven't seen the kids
so
in 4
far,
years.
according to our investigation.
So what about other people who maybe knew something? Manuel Gomez, I want to go to you on this one.
I don't believe that.
Red flags maybe should have been spotted.
I don't
what do you
believe
think?
that. Not at all.
You know what? It's correct when it calls about the family. It's been 5 years, almost 5 years.
I don't believe
those
that.
kids were missing. How do you not say, where are your children?
Thank you.
And if she's saying, well, they're visiting, they're being taken care of by somebody else, you don't go to see them? Come on. What kind of family is that? Just like my colleague said, if my kid is missing for 4 hours, I miss them. 4 days, a day I miss them. The family didn't miss these kids.
Nope.
And the fact that they were put into the custody of the family is egregious. It is disgusting.
He's saying it. They should not be with the family. Those people didn't care enough to go and check. There is no way in hell I'm not going to see. I'm like, okay, where are they at? Almost 5 years go by. You still don't see them. When my son says, I remember when he posted something, first thing I said, okay, where the kids? Where the kids? He said, they're at the hotel room. We on our way back there now to get them. Get the fuck out of here.
Because these kids need psychological help.
Get out of
Julie,
here with that.
they had a functional cell phone and they were not able to call 911.
Oh my God, they had a cell phone. They had a function. Wait a minute. Did he say they had a functioning cell phone?
Because these kids need psychological help. Julie, they had a functional cell phone.
God.
And they were not able to call 911.
What?
You're telling me those kids don't need psychological help, that the family's going to provide psychological help, that did not look for them, that did not file a report? I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right. I mean, they need to go back to basics, learn the basic ways to live. They were deprived of soap, for crying out loud, and adequate food. John Phillips, to you next, please. Your thoughts on whether they should be with a family.
Well, you know, again, it's the family that left them behind. And I saw something about the father being in jail and maybe coming out of jail, but the intensive treatment and also, you know, taking it to another level. You're talking about a 15-year-old boy, a 13-year-old girl, and a 12-year-old girl.
So bad.
Guess what? Preteens, pubescent. Like I can't even imagine. They had no parenting, no guidance. Like they're, I don't. You know, this is something that a family would want to take them in, but then if you have other kids around, you've got to reprogram them for a while.
Oh my God!
And I just,
they weren't taking them back.
No child is a lost
anything.
cause, and we're gonna, you know, I hope society gets this right and enforces this. But there's so much liability to go around. I don't know where you start.
Okay, this is disgusting. And this bitch. Let me see if the audio is better right here. It is pretty low, but I'm going to drop it again. If you guys want to put your earphones on and go listen to it. She's not coming out of jail. She's going to be there. Her bond is $200 million.
The other aspects, should she post said bond? She is not a family member. I'm concerned on the 3 minor children that she is a mother to. With that in mind, I agree with Ms. Karagongo. I cannot deny her bond. That is, of course, my first knee-jerk reaction was to deny her bond. However, because I find her acute danger, I find her a continued danger to the children. My main concern is, I don't know who, if anyone, that the children have been given to. If it is a family member, I'm concerned that she still may have contact with the family member from the jail with instructions to continue to engage in fear tactics to forbid the children from cooperating with authorities in their continued investigation in this matter.
They shouldn't be with family.
For that reason alone, I'm giving her a $250 million bond.
$250 million
in this matter. Cash only.
Cash only.
The other aspects, should she post said bond? She is not to have any contact with these children by family members, third-party agents, or friends. So, Ms. Bryant, I want you to understand, any phone calls from the jail, should you're unable to post this bond, is recorded. Should the court find out that you are sending messages to engage in further fear tactics and intimidation of the children,
it happens every day, Wisco.
Will be removed. You're not to have, in fact,
they're with her family.
Post this bond with any children under the age of 18. In this matter, if you post this bond, you should be supervised by pretrial services, no alcohol or drugs, no weapons or firearms, and a GPS tether with a verified address, because I'm concerned pretrial services has indicated 2 different reported addresses for you. I don't believe anyone knows where you have been staying, madam. There's no consistent history. Anything further regarding the bond, Ms. Karagongo, Ms. Green?
That judge is not playing.
My client to arrest her, so I just want the record to be clear on that.
Ms. Green?
Your Honor, you have before you information that the defendant has
200. I thought it was 200 million. I thought I heard her say 250 million.
She was telling where the children were, so you have a lot on this record in terms of inconsistencies with her location.
They shouldn't be with any family members. I hate to say it. They should be in foster care.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation in this matter.
Yep.
Ms. Bryant, you are thanked and excused from the camera. Ms. Karagongo, Ms. Green, thank you so much. Pretrial service, thank you so much. Ma'am, can you get up and let the deputies know we're ready for the next defendant?
So, $250 million. She's not coming out of there, but I don't think those kids need to be with any family member. I'm sorry, I just don't. You try to keep them with the family. I understand that's what you want to do. But in this case, those kids do not need to be with any family members at all. They need to have extensive treatment. They need to be in another environment because you never knowing what the family member is saying to them. They don't need to be around any of her family. Now, if it's their dad family, um, period, even the dad's family, because they weren't checking on those damn kids. So again, she doesn't need to have any contact. They don't need to be with family members because they let this happen as well. As far as I'm concerned, there is no way in hell you're not worried about kids after not seeing them for 4.5, almost 5 years. There's no way that's possible. No way that's possible. Yep, no one is paying attention. You're right. But anyway, I wanted to bring that arraignment to you, and we're going to discuss more about that. I think I'm going to do a members only probably sometime this weekend because there's some BS. Yeah, Jules, get ready on Rumble, but I got something for you in the background that's going to be playing. So I'm just going to make sure. I will send a clip that FBS said, and that's going to be playing the whole time in the background while I'm talking. Okay. But what if no, they said she would go to see the family and they would always ask her where the kids, and she always says somebody is taking care of them. But their grandmother, their aunts, their uncles, no one went to check. I'm sure they all knew where she lived at. One of the kids even said that one of her sisters would drop them off food. Maybe she's telling them, hey, I'm running late. Could you bring them food? So that means that you have to open the door to see what was going on inside, unless you just left it outside the door. But that doesn't make any damn sense. Kids weren't in school. Not one truant officer went to that home. So this is crazy. 250 million. I get it. She's worried about the kids. She didn't murder anybody, but the kids could have died. She didn't murder anybody. But you have 5 officers that we saw that murdered her man on a body cam video. And they're getting 100,000 surety, 100,000 cash, 250 surety, and then you got $1 million with at least 10%. Get the fuck out of here. Yep, they didn't care then, so why are they caring now? I feel bad for these kids. I really, really, really do. I don't think they're thinking. I know that they probably don't want to put them in the system, but still, they really need to get those kids away from any family members. Okay? They need to get those kids away from family members, because even though they're saying this, the jail calls are going to be recorded, all that other bullshit. People talking shit. P. Diddy behind bars, he's talking about pizza boxes and shit. This shit is crazy. But anyway, I think that is it. I have to go. Oh, that was a school bus crash. Okay, I gotta go. But you guys have a nice day. I am gonna do a members only. I'm just trying to get all my notes and shit together. Hi, Christoph. I'm sorry. Yes, family comes first. But in this case, those 3 kids. And then the 4th child was given to his father. Well, their father. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl. I don't know. That's not the other 3 kids' dad. We heard that he may be in jail, may be coming out. Where is his family? Why aren't they checking on those kids? Everybody goes family, family, family. Bullshit. You should have known what was going on with those kids. Point blank. Point blank, period. I'm sorry. I just can't sit there and say they did the right thing by sending those kids to live with family, because I really feel they did not. They don't deserve to be with family. They need to be away from their family. Okay, I'm going to go. In case y'all are following the Rose Petal murders, South Carolina versus Zachary Hughes, I've been listening to that. That is a really good trial going on right now. It's day 7. I've been listening off and on, but you guys have a, wait a minute, is Bambi going live again? Is today 2:20? Well, I guess she is going live. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. I need to get back to work.